Hello, and welcome back to day 13 of the trading series. So, in today's video, we're going to be reviewing a trade that was placed on April 17th of 2024. It was on NASDAQ 100, and this is a little more kind of like how I was explaining in the previous video. So, if you watched the last video where I was doing a retracement trade, and I was saying, like, be careful, you're going against trend. This is kind of the flip side of this. So we had seen that the retracement had happened here. So the market has kind of been trending up. And now what I was looking for was like, I wrote reversal candle pattern, which is what you are seeing here, and the failure to make a higher high. But I was also keeping in mind that my overall higher time frame biases were bearish. So I knew that the stronger bias as far as like where the trend was going was bearish. I also knew though the previous day that we had been in a retracement. So the retracement had been kind of playing itself out. And then you can kind of see what happens here overnight, like starting what this situation kind of looks like. It's just like the last day prior to like where I'm entering just kind of starts to get choppy. There's not a ton of movement or like market structure, kind of over here a little bit, but then it really gets choppy and just kind of gross. There was a liquidity grab that came down here, but still, again, the market's just kind of playing around within like this overall level. So I wasn't really like sold here to break out. Plus, it's also like not my time at all to trade. Just heads up. Like I wasn't even looking at this. I just happened to mark this up to show like what I was looking at. But there was liquidity that was left down here. So it was an area I was interested in targeting, but it was not at all an area I was interested in trading like as a breakout, because it wasn't even close to my time to trade, nor would I ever even take that just because I was like too far gone. But anyhow, I just want you guys to understand why that was marked up as an area of liquidity that I was interested in targeting for a take profit. But this overall kind of like area, there is market movement within it, but it just kind of looks messy and consolidated, like price just kind of hanging between the levels of the higher time frames. So your like resistance levels are up here, your supports are down here. So when I saw the market come back up into this area and give a nice like rejection reversal candle pattern, and it did fail to make a new higher high like over here, I was pretty interested in getting into the continuation of the bearish trend, which is my stronger overall trend. So that is why I was looking for the bearish smiley faces, and that's why I got into a sell here. So I did use the 15-minute time frame for the markup and the bias, and also the 1 hour. And I did use the 1-minute time frame for the smiley entry. So that's what actually showing that vertical yellow line that you see here dropped on the chart. That's just showing like that on that candle, I was actually able to find a bearish smiley face on the 1-minute time frame versus waiting for the close of this huge candle, which you could have still gotten in here on the 15-minute, but it would have gotten you on much later. So I was looking to get in a little bit sooner on the 1-minute, but I was doing my overall analysis on the 15-minute chart. So I just wanted you guys to see what I was looking at on the 15-minute chart, why I was targeting, like as far as my stop loss. I did go a little heavier above where I normally would. I normally would just kind of drop it at the top of this zone. I did go a little above it just in case the market wanted to come and like throw a wick up here and grab a little more liquidity that was left up here, but it never did. But yeah, that was my rationale there. I just kind of wanted to cover a little more of this wick because there's a lot of liquidity that was kind of left in this area. So thankfully, though, it never did that, and it worked out in my favor. But that was my idea there, to keep a little bigger of stop loss. I could have won a little tighter, but I just wanted to be a little more cautious. My take profit was targeting the 17,700, which happens to also line up with a 15-minute level and a 1 hour level. The 1 hour level was a little bigger, which you can see I wrote here on the 1 hour. It kind of was like this whole area that I'm closing in. And I went on the more modest side of this because I always do. I like to be a little more cautious and they take the more probable trade versus going for like the gold here and trying to get like a little more out of it. So I was more than happy with a 3R right here. I didn't need like the 5. I think it was going to be probably like a 4R or something like that. Maybe probably 4. And I didn't really care to hold for that. But I thought about doing it initially, like kind of securing the trade and letting it trail. And then I just said, forget it. I had my 3R and I just took my money and went. Anyhow, that was my logic as far as my take profit. So anywhere in that zone would have been fine to place for a take profit. But for me personally, I just was going more modest and I wanted kind of like the top end of that zone. And that was my logic as far as like my stop loss, my take profit, and my entry. But I'll show you on the 1 minute time frame what that bearish smiley face and entry looks like. So you can see how I got in a little bit sooner here. This is the same zone that we just looked at. 15-minute time frame just looks more zoomed in. So that's what you're seeing here. This guy is the same thing as this one. What you do see is this bearish smiley face that breaks out the yellow vertical line that's highlighting it. There is a breakout here. It comes back up in and retraces a little bit into this zone. And then when I saw that little retrace in, I was like pretty good. I got in at a better price and I was happy to take the trade. So that is the logic for entering on the 1 minute time frame for the entry itself, and where like the happy trail indicator kind of came into play. But the actual analysis and my thought process was all kind of built off of this 15-minute time frame. But I want you guys to see the 1 minute just so you can kind of see how that looked. And then the levels, like you saw in the 15-minute, they're all the same. Nothing has changed there. So anyhow, that was that trade. That did grant me the 3R. So like 15.0525 is what I made off of that trade for that day. So not too bad. All right, that is it for this trade. I hope that was helpful. And I will see you guys in the next video.